Good morning. This is the weekend update for Buy Sell Short for Saturday, September 21st. We had a lot of things conspiring against the market on Friday. Chief among them, of course, was the Fed Governor Bullard coming out and really saying nothing new, but sort of backing up the nonsense that continues to float around on Wall Street. If you've been reading any of the business headlines over the last couple of days, all you've been hearing or reading is shock and awe and disappointment that Bernanke did not begin to taper. And, I still stand by the fact that I think all this Wall Street talk about tapering is absolute and utter nonsense. I mean, when this sell-off in the market or this taper talk started back in May, what Bernanke came out and said was, we need to see strong growth in the job market and we need to see strong growth in the economy. They gave us a number of 7% unemployment rate, dropping under 7%. And as for the economy, we'd probably need to see GDP pushing 3% for a couple of quarters to really consider the economy good. What have we seen since then? We've seen anemic job growth. We've seen anemic GDP growth. We can barely break 2% on GDP. The jobs numbers suck. And, it's kind of ridiculous when you stand back and think that here we are getting jobs reports of 100,000, 176,000, 180,000 job creation is considered great, when only a couple of years ago when the Fed embarked on its QE mission, QE1, QE2, etc., we were looking for 300,000 jobs a month just to break even. And now you have these pundits saying 176, 180, 200,000 jobs. Oh, they got to stop the easing right now. Just utter nonsense. And then Bullard came out on Friday in an interview and said that, well, let's see what he said. The headlines are saying that Bullard said the Fed is going to taper in October, but taper small. What Bullard actually said was, if, big capital letters, if job creation gets stronger, the Fed could consider tapering. So what do the business media headlines come out? Bullard says Fed taper, market sells off. It's just absolute nonsense, guys. It's just the same old Wall Street dance. Rush everyone to one side of the boat, do the opposite, screw them, and they bank. Now, we also have to consider that on Friday, it was a big options expiration, quadruple witching, options, futures, etc., etc., and those kind of days can be very, very manipulated, especially when the option crooks get taken to the woodset thinking something else is going to happen. And that's when we had that big rally on Fed Day. They had a little bit of payback on Friday. And going into the close, we saw the real close, as far as I was concerned, was about 136, minus 136, not that it really matters. And lo and behold, whoosh, they closed at us negative 185. A lot of shenanigans going on, mega blocks all over the place. I also believe it was a S&P 500, a Dow rebalance, stock addition nonsense. And we also saw monster block trades on a lot of small cap stocks. I still haven't figured out why that was the case. But, it was a very gamed market on Friday. And typically when you see that kind of big dip on the close on an options expiration day, that really big dip you see in the last few seconds tends to get made up first part of the next day. So I would think we should see a 50-point plus pop at least Monday morning. Looking at the 15-minute chart, you can see we have fallen into a bullish falling wedge. I drew it really wide. We could end up finding support right here at this 200-day moving average. We are oversold on RSI and oversold on stochastics, so we should see some sort of bounce come Monday. Dow Transports, while we had the major indices rolling over and tanking, Dow Transports really did not fall much, and really this is the index that has really been the driving force of this market this year, and it's holding up pretty well. Same can be said for small cap stocks as well. I mean, with the carnage that was going on the market over the last 2 days, we've had a phenomenal trades have been blowing up left and right for us. It's been awesome. So let them do their gaming of the large cap stocks, and we will have fun in small cap land. And I also wanted to go back to the 1995 chart again, and you can see that we have followed the market like it did in 1995 to a T. big bounce into September. And you recall, back then we essentially had a flatlined market for about 4 or 5 weeks, which flat markets are awesome. They give lots of trading opportunities. And what would we have right now that could give us a back and forth flat market? We've got two things. We've got, of course, the Fed taper talk. It only took them 2 days to bring that up. And then we have the children, the teabagger children in Washington with their debt ceiling fiasco that they're trying to bring up again, and what appears to be a civil war in the GOP to keep our attention over the next few weeks. And what's going to probably end up happening, just like the last negotiations that we've seen on the debt ceiling, is one side and the other coming out, throwing hand grenades in the media with press conferences, market reacting up and down accordingly, and, that's just what we've got to look forward to. And then a year-end ramp, that's still what I'm thinking in this market. But anyway, let's jump into some stock plays. Mad Cats, boom. You recall a couple of days ago, I mentioned the pattern that was in place on this stock, and we should be set for a new all-time high break. And the last 2 days, boom, on very, very nice volume. We got another nice little flag breakout, continuation on Friday, and a very nice close. We have a big volume pop. ADX is super, super strong. We got a positive MACD cross. Money flow is about to go positive. Stochastics look great. On balance volume looks great. And let me show you the chart from 2010, 2011. See anything similar here? Look at this period right here. Breakout, consolidation on a flag, breakout, consolidation, breakout, consolidation, breakout, consolidation, breakout. We are still early in the game on this breakout consolidation, but you can see we began at the exact same spot back in 2010, and the stock ended up going up 800%. So we are still awaiting news on the Mojo console launch. Perhaps this big volume spike over the last couple of days is some leaks that is coming forthwith. So looking really, really good on MCZ, and almost 100% winner for us now, and 100% more to go. Cool, however, is still treading water, not being very good to us. We're still patiently waiting on this one. But as a side note, the gamer stocks are blowing up left and right. Glue, which was our pickup on Tuesday, Wednesday at 216, hit 250 plus on Friday for a fat game. Gamer stocks are really starting to heat up. Zynga, boom. Game which we had a very nice scalp on as well, had a big pop. So we come back to Cool. Again, Cool has one of the Xbox launch titles. Essentially, it's the 200-day moving average. When it breaks, this stock doubles. It's essentially all that matters on this stock. We continue to accumulate this one. 60 cents and under. Looked like it was going to break out there Thursday and Friday, but the market kind of weighed it down. Next break above 60, I think we're going to quickly challenge that 68-cent 200-day moving average. We're going to start to see a lot of news headlines about the console launches, about game launches, and that should do the sector very, very well over the next month. VLTC, kaboom, baby. We picked this one up in the chat room on Friday based on the Rocket Fuel IPO. The stock price at 29. They traded it up to 60, and the direct competitor to them is VLTC, and it had a beautiful flag setup. We picked up shares 525 to 530. We added some more on the dip. It exploded over 6 plus, retreated all the way back down to the last few minutes down to 530, and then boom. They ended up painting this one with a fat close at 580, setting the chart up for a great move up next week. If you can see on the chart here, the last time we played this stock back at the end of July, it ran from 420 to 722 in a week. This is a stock that has a history of big, big moves. Looking back at a one-year chart, you can see back in April, the stock ran 100% in a week. We, of course, were in this one in July when it ran 75%. It has also, back this time last year, run 100%. this time of the year. When it runs big, it runs for multiple days, and it is setting up for another one of those multiple day runs right now. We also had a golden cross on this stock 2 weeks ago, and typically on a lot of stocks, takes about, some of them explode immediately. Sometimes it takes a week to 3 weeks for that golden cross to really trigger. That's when the 50-day crosses up through the 200-day moving average, blue through the red. Very, very bullish. Target here, a break of 6, and we're looking at 7+ on this one. Look at the valuation they put on fuel on Friday. This stock could have tremendous upside over the coming days. Look, it's also a low float. Icon also owns a chunk of it. And I bring you back to this stock specs from last month. Look what this stock did. It ran 500% in a week. Low float stocks with a story. We also have a positive MACD cross. All the indicators are still coiled for big moves. Could be a very, very big move for us on VLTC this upcoming week. Crazy action on Friday in DVAX. Out of the blue, the stock went from no volume, $1.15, all the way up to $1.46 in the last 5-6 minutes of the session. They closed it all the way back down at $1.26, dropped it to $1.18 after hours, where we ended up started nibbling some shares for a trade. Traded 8 million plus shares in after hours. No news on it. Crazy high volume. Could be a watcher for a breakout move on Monday. Perhaps some news got leaked here, but this one could be a very, very nice mover come Monday morning. BGMD, kind of disappointing. Still unable to break that 95 cents area. Triggered stops on Friday, but I would have zero issue rebuying this one 95 cents plus, or even a $1 break for the move. We may be a little bit early here. That tends to be the case. We've had a lot of big runners over the last few days where it took a few days longer than when we jumped in for them to blow up. Now, one that didn't take long was LTRX. We jumped into this puppy on Thursday, $1.38 to $1.40. Our target was the 50-day moving average, which was at 155. Big volume spike last 2 days. Friday, boom, gap up, hit target on the nose. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, if you kept a piece of position on this one, the next break would be, I'd probably consider an entry on a break of 160 with 153 stops. Or trail my stops if you're still in the position to 150, but looks very, very nice. And another nice winner for us in a bad, bad market. So that's where we stand this week. We've got a lot of noise out there, really a lot of nonsense. I honestly can say on Friday when the market was selling off, we had so many movers and such nice trading action that I didn't even notice that the market was down 100 plus. That's great. That tells you that you can ignore the overall noise in the market and the nonsense that's going on out there. Fed's not going to taper. Jobs is not, we're not blowing jobs out left and right. You would see the anecdotal evidence all over the place, and we're not. So there's not going to be any taper this year. Ignore the noise. Have a great weekend, guys. See you in the chat room on Monday.